All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this month's training. So glad to have you here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So my name is Will Henke, and this month we're talking all about local and on-page SEO for your company. So probably one of my most exciting topics for myself. I really enjoy the local SEO and really getting our clients to rank locally, obviously. And it's a huge piece of getting more leads for your business. So definitely worth your time today to watch. So very, very excited to have you guys on today as well. So in the chat, real quick, before we get started, if you could just let me know if you can hear me and if you can see the screen that has the title there. If you could put that in the chat real quick, I would be very happy. Okay, Ryan says loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So, all right, let's jump in. So, what you're going to discover today is I'll call it a list of things that you might be able to learn here. The most influential pieces of a website. What's going to influence your website the most, especially from Google's standpoint? How your website should be structured for optimal traffic conditions. So again, sending the right signals to Google so that you're positioned the best to get more local traffic. Couple tricks on how to get more local traffic once you've built these things out. How to optimize your GMB or Google My Business profile, now called GBP, Google Business Profile. But we still refer to it as GMB. But how to optimize that so you show up in the 3-pack. And the 3-pack is the 3 pins with the map. And those 3 businesses are getting a good amount of the leads, quite honestly. So you need to be part of that conversation. Why reviews influence your business profile. And we'll talk a little bit more about ways to get reviews too, because they're huge. And then last, time to long click. So we'll talk a little bit about what that means. Real quick about myself. My name is Will Henke. I own a business called Window Treatment Marketing Pros, and also written a book called Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads. We're going to talk a little bit more about the book later on. But if you don't have a copy of this, I want to make sure to get one of those in your hands. We have been rated top SEO agency the last 3 years in a row by SEO Blog, which is pretty awesome. We're veteran owned, we're a family owned business, and we are Google partners as well. So that's about us. As far as the strategies, these things work. You know, when people are typing things in related to what you do or where you're at, if you can come up at the top of the search engines, it's just going to turn into leads. It's going to turn into traffic. And then, of course, leads. So today I want to show you these exact strategies that we use to create these results for our clients. Now, this is all part of what we call the digital dominance method. In this case, we're actually looking at number 2 here, which is your local SEO foundation. That's the second thing you need. Obviously, the first thing you need is a website. So second on the list is to start getting your local SEO kind of all figured out. And as you can see, there are 12 different things that you could be doing, you know, and all of those encompass a lot of work. So there's a bunch of pieces to getting your website ranking, getting it to generate leads, things of that sort. But this is one of the foundational pieces that we'll kind of go through today. I also wanted to mention the customer's journey. Everybody is in a different place when they're engaging with your business. It could be that they don't even know who you are, all the way through, you know, considering you as one of the options to maybe call for an appointment, or even if they've got a proposal, kind of waiting to decide, you know, should we go with this company or that company? And then, of course, the decision. And then lastly, the delight, which is they're happy with what you've done. This is your opportunity to ask for the review. So all of these pieces kind of come in play. Most of the things we'll talk about today are in the very early stages, meaning before they even know who you are. So doing things like online ads and search, which is getting you ranking in the top of Google so that people can become aware of your business, is a big, big piece of this. I did mention free stuff. I want to make sure I get my book into your hands. I'll tell you how to do that at the end today. I've got a couple other things that are really kind of get you moving in the right direction towards higher ranking as well. And lastly, if you do have any questions along the way, please feel free to put those into the chat, and I will do my best to monitor them. I've also got Ryan on here to help, so we will monitor the chat and just watch. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I would prefer to answer the questions as we're going through it versus at the end when then you forgot what your question was, or what it was what it was pertaining to. So, all right, enough of the housekeeping. Let's get into the stuff. So first thing I wanted to do was kind of do a quick search engine optimization overview, a little bit about it, what it is, what it does. So the big piece of search engine optimization is ultimately having some keywords that you want to rank for, and then getting them to rank high, right? Getting them to show up really high so that when somebody types those in, you're one of the businesses that shows up as an option. Obviously, the best scenario is you're the first business that shows up. That is the ultimate goal. And then repeat that process for thousands more keywords, right? This is a list of some of the more popular keywords, and you see like window treatments, 32,000 clicks in a month. This is a monthly number. So 32,000 clicks every single month is that's a lot of traffic. So if you ranked for window treatments in your area, that's a big search term, and then you qualify for probably getting some of that traffic and those leads, obviously. So here's the awning side. Number one search, obviously, there is awnings. Number two, interestingly, is a brand. So Sunsetter is doing a great job of their own search engine optimization and getting their brand name out there. We got 23,000 clicks and then 12,000 clicks on Sunsetter. But you can see this is a lot of traffic. If you could get a piece of this traffic, you'd be in good shape. Now, I did mention that your website is the foundation in the digital dominance method. It is the first step. It is the first thing that you need to do. It is the hub of everything you do when people interact with your business online. Even if they see you on social media or they see you other places online, ultimately, they're probably going to end up at your website as part of that journey, and the website needs to be top notch. So that's the foundation. There are a lot of different platforms that you can build your website on: WordPress, Weebly, Wix, Squarespace. There's a lot of these different website builders, we'll call them, out there that you can put them on our platforms. For our company, we only work with WordPress. And what we found is WordPress gives you the most control over your website. Excuse me. Some companies like Wix and Squarespace do a great job of building something that looks really pretty, but they don't give you a whole bunch of control over the SEO stuff, over the back end of the system. And that's where a lot of the SEO is done. With WordPress, you have 100% control. You own all of the files, all of the content. You can modify 100% of it, quite honestly, which is why we've chosen it. It's also very search engine friendly. So we only work with WordPress. We love it for the SEO benefits that it offers. But ultimately, even on your website is still driven by those keywords, right? Having those right keywords in the right places, not having them all on one page, right? But starting to teach the search engines, this page is about this keyword, this page is about this keyword. We want to rank in this location, and then starting to get that traffic to your site. So let's get a little nerdy here. I don't want to scare you guys off, but I need to explain kind of the structure, some of the bigger things that you have to pay attention to. And even in Wix and Squarespace, they give you some control over some of these things as well. They might be called something slightly different, but overall, they should have this available as well. So the first thing is page titles. So the page title is something you actually can't see when you're looking at a website. It is something that is hidden behind the scenes in the HTML code that is generated for the site. So even though, you see a website here, it doesn't mean you're seeing everything about that website. If we look at the source of this particular website or the actual HTML code being generated, what we'll find here is the title of this particular page, which in this case is Denver Commercial Window Treatments. And that is the number one thing that they want to rank for. So it makes sense that their homepage would have that as the title. Now, the reason the title is important is because in Google, this is how it shows up, right? So if somebody's going to Google, and typing in Denver commercial window treatments or commercial window treatments Denver, something along those lines, they're going to show up and they're going to have these words in that order. And the person's going to say, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And they're going to click on that result, right? So that's why the page title is so important. Now, in WordPress, there are two main plugins that you can use for SEO. There's one called Yoast and there's one called Rank Math. We used to use Yoast years and years ago, but once Rank Math came out, probably about 2 years ago now, we switched all of our clients over to Rank Math. We love it. It is just fantastic. We use the Rank Math Pro for all of our clients, but it gives you an opportunity to add the title, descriptions, different things that we're going to talk about today, all in one little place. And then it shows you a nice little snippet of what it's going to look like on Google, which is pretty awesome as well. All right, speaking of descriptions, the next thing on a website is descriptions. And this, again, is something behind the scenes. It's not something that you see. So just the first two things, which are very important for your website, are not design related, right? If you just have a pretty website, it's not enough. It's just not enough for you. So the next thing is meta descriptions. A description is 2 sentences or so that explain what this particular page on your website is about. So every page gets a different title. Every page gets a different description, depending on what that page is about. So in this case, the description here is supplying and installing custom-made window treatments for apartments, new construction, blah, 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 in Denver, somewhere along the line. I'm sure the phrase or the word Denver is in there, right? So this is a meta description. And again, important because this is what shows up when somebody does a search for custom window treatments Denver, right? This is one of the results. And if somebody were typing that into Google and saw that, I mean, it's pretty good odds that they're going to click on that, right? It matches exactly what they searched for. Now, if we wanted to rank the Roman Shades page, right, then our title would be different. Our title might be Custom Roman Shades Denver, something like that, right? And the description would be something related specifically to Roman Shades. So every page on your website has a different title, different description, depending on what that page is about. So again, here's the description down at the bottom. Real easy to do with these different plugins. All right, the third one, and I think we're almost done with the nerdy stuff. The third one is heading tags. Now, heading tags are something you can see on the design side of the website. In this case, the heading tag, the main heading tag is the most important keyword on this page. And that is Denver's #1 commercial window treatments. That is their heading or their top headline, if you will, for this particular website. Again, if we look at the code, we'll see that in here called H1. It is the most important tag on the site. So definitely worth making sure that every page on your site has a headline or a heading tag in it, because that is, by far one of the biggest things that's going to influence Google and how it understands what that page is about. So that's a little bit about the most important tags. Now, how can you find out what yours are? Well, obviously you can go through the code like I showed you, but that's not always fun, right? So let me see if I can move a browser window over, and you guys let me know if you can see this. Are you guys able to see my browser window? It's like a dark red color. Okay, excellent. So, all right, somebody put in the chat your link to your website. Doesn't matter. So whatever your WW is, put that into the chat and let's plug that in here. And I'm going to show you a really cool little trick that you can do for your site. Everybody's busy typing. I'm sure that's what it is. So, all right. So let's see here. Okay. Site : and then we're going to put in a particular link. So let's put in nakasdrapery.com. So site : and then whatever the link is to your site. Now notice there are no spaces in this. It's just site : and then your domain. You don't have to put the HTTP. You don't have to put the www, just whatever what we call the top level domain is. Now, when I do this search in Google, what's going to come back is all of the results related to this particular website. And so basically we're saying, hey, Google, what do you know about this website? And it's going to list only pages related to this particular domain. Okay. And then you can see on their blog page, their keyword or their title is Maui window treatment blog tips and advice. And their description is from design tips to how-tos, blah, 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 right? So this is a great way to see what are your current title tags and meta tags or meta description tags right here, just by doing that site : command. Now, one thing you might notice is their homepage. It just says Naka's Drapery LLC. But if we go to their website and actually click on their website, their title tag, and I don't know if you guys can see this, it's pretty small, but it's up at the top. Maui window treatments and coverings specialists. So sometimes Google decides what's better, right? What is better for the user to see if the title is not the best, right? So they're trying to deliver up the best results here. So sometimes they do actually change what you've put in there, which is kind of crappy, but they're trying their best to get more people to click on your results. So definitely worth knowing that it's not always the best result, or it doesn't always match up completely. So, all right. So that is the site : trick. Really cool little thing that you can do to find out more about your own website. All right. Another tool that you can use is Screaming Frog. Now, let me see if I can get this to come up as well for you. Let me load this. And again, I need somebody in the chat to let me know if you're able to see my screen. Let me move it over here in just a second. It's loading. And it's taking its time to load. Here we go. All right. Now, can you see this little software screen here? Okay, excellent. Thank you. So one thing you can do with this software, and by the way, it's free. There's a pro version, but you can use the free version for most websites. It crawls up to 500 pages on your site. So most small business websites are nowhere near 500. So, all right. So same thing. Let's put it in here, nakasdrapery.com. And then I'm going to hit the start button here. And what this tool does is it actually crawls your entire website and pulls in every link, whether that is a link to another page, a link to a file, or a link to a picture, all of those kinds of things. It pulls everything in and catalogs it so that you know exactly where every one of your pages are, right? So once this is finished in just a minute here, what we'll see is that we can actually export all of our pages, all of our titles, all of our descriptions, all of our heading tags into one Excel file or Google Sheets file, which is pretty awesome. So it's fussing at me about the free version. That's okay. And let's see, we're at 88%. So this is a really cool way to see everything in one spot. You can identify which ones are really short, which ones are duplicated, which ones are missing, all of that kind of stuff, all in one place, which is obviously very cool, right? So once this is done crawling, I'll export this over to an Excel file. And from there, you'll have all of these different links, which is pretty awesome. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and push that down. You get the idea, I hope, which is pretty awesome. So, all right, so let's talk a little bit about how your website should be laid out, right? From a layout standpoint, what it should look like, what the structure overall should be. So typically what we have is a homepage, obviously, one homepage that targets your number one keyword, which is most likely window treatments location or awnings location. That is going to be what your homepage targets. Then under there, we have what's called silo pages. Typically, silo pages are pages like about us, products, service area, those kinds of things that probably are going to have stuff underneath those, but those are the next top layer of products. Then we have the child silos and sub-child silos, so pages inside pages, right? But this is the way to build it out where the pages at the top have the most authority. So silo pages are second to the homepage in overall authority. And then, of course, we've got the child silos and those underneath that. So if we were to look at this website, the main page is obviously the homepage, but then we've got main silo pages. That is products, services, the gallery, showrooms or locations, reviews, and then specials. So these are the top layer of offerings that they have, and they're also the top layer. They're the most important pages that they want Google to index. So we can see what those are easily enough, and they're easy to find, right? All of these are top level pages. Now, when we get down to a locations page, let's say I click on locations. Now we're on a page that is the next level down, right? It's what do they call it? A child page or a child silo page. So this is a page that lists all of the locations inside of that and has links to each of those as well. So kind of see this structure and see how maybe your website could maybe be built wrong. And, this is, excuse me, something definitely worth spending time on kind of structuring out, make sure it's correct. So one of the first things that we do for a new client is we take in what your current structure looks like. And then we look at it from this standpoint and say, how can we change this and fix it so that it's sending better signals to Google overall? Here's an example of a city page, which is a page that would probably be way down under service areas, right? Probably a child silo page. So this is the structure again, and it's definitely worth building things in that order. All right, let me see if there's any questions in the chat. I don't see any yet. If you do have any questions, please put those in the chat. I want to make sure I'm getting everybody the right information and that you're not going on confused anymore. So, all right, next, keywords. So we mentioned keywords early on. Keywords are huge when it comes to overall ranking for your website. They are the drivers of everything: traffic, leads, phone calls, all of that stuff starts with keywords. Now, there is a tool called Google Keyword Planner, and you can get this tool for absolutely free. Just do a search in Google for it. The tool is built to get you to bid on the keywords, right? They want you to spend money on the Google ad system. So they're going to show you what keywords people are bidding on the most. And then, if you typed in window treatments here, it would show you window treatments and then all of the other keywords that people are also bidding on that are bidding on window treatments. So it gives you a great list of ways to do it. Obviously, it has a price over here because they want you to run ads for that. But it's a great tool just for seeing what keywords people are using, what keywords people are bidding on. And you would assume if they're bidding on the keywords, it's probably a keyword that's generating leads for them, right? Another tool is called Answer the Public. This is an older screenshot. It looks a little different now, but the idea with Answer the Public is you put in a phrase such as awnings, and then it tells you hundreds of keywords that people are typing in, but they're keywords like comparisons, such as awning versus gazebo, right? So it gives you all these different keywords of how people are comparing awnings to something else. These are all opportunities for you to write content and blogs for. They give you prepositions. So beautiful awnings, yellow awnings, I guess those are adjectives. But it gives you all these different things that people are typing in with other words that is a great way to generate traffic ideas and content ideas for your business. Answerthepublic.com. Another one is Google Trends. This one's real easy. You just type in Google Trends into Google and it'll come right up. But this is real cool because you can put in a term and see how popular that term is in Google. And the other thing you can do is that compare button there. You can actually compare the trends to other words. So how many people are typing in window treatments versus how many people are typing in window coverings, for instance. So you can see those different comparisons. So here's window treatments versus window coverings. You can see coverings is probably more of an industry term, whereas window treatments is more what the public types in to find information about it. So Google Trends, really cool. Google Trends also can go into specific areas. So you see here, it says United States. You can actually drop this down to just Texas and see, okay, for these two keywords, how is this working in Texas? Which is really cool. So you can really drill down on this in time, in location, in a lot of different things to see how people are typing in different words and how they're interacting with those words. Now, we do have a list of the top 81 keywords for window treatments and awnings. I did mention freebies. This is one right here. So wtmarketingpros.com/keywords will get you to the download for these absolutely free. You don't have to put your name in. You don't have to do anything. Just go to that link and grab those keywords. And they also have average monthly search volume for each keyword, just so you can see how popular they are and how many people are typing that in on an average month. All right, so that is everything about on-page SEO and the things that you can do to influence Google to rank your business higher. So now let's talk about the other big one, which is Google My Business or Google Business Profile. So when it comes to the average search, 71% of all clicks go to these two areas, the 3-pack of results and the first 1 or 2, what we call organic rankings. That's where almost all the clicks go. So that's where we need to be, right? That's the most important place. If we look at this, we've got Sunshine in the what we call the 3-pack, and then they're also in the first 2 organic rankings. So that's pretty awesome. So when we look at this, well, what do they have in common? There are some things that we need to have in place in order for us to create a result like this. So claimed and verified Google listing in GMB, no spam in the company name. So you have to use your real company name. A lot of times people will put in Joe's Window Treatments, Tampa, Florida, come see us, something, I don't know. But they try to add in additional keywords that are not matching to the company name. So in this case, it actually has to match the company name in the GMB. The other thing you'll see is Sunshine has 31 reviews and Proctor has 4, right? So they've got a lot of online reviews. That's going to help push them up in the overall rankings. Keyword in the title and some variation. This is for the homepage, for the pages that are ranking organically. We definitely have the right keywords in there. Lots of citations with consistent reference to NAP or NAP. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in a minute. Citations are huge for getting your business more attention and getting you listed into the 3-pack of results. So we'll cover that as well. Solid link profile across the web. So again, other pages around the web linking back to you is a huge part of all of this as well. All right. And let's see if there's one more. Nope. Okay. So how do we get started with this? The easiest thing to do is go to google.com/business. You're going to get a page that looks like this. And in the top right corner, you're going to click the Manage Now button. Now, if your business is already listed in Google, you'll have that Manage Now button. If you don't see that button, you're either not signed in or you haven't claimed your listing yet. So that would be the first step. Go through, fill out your business information, and claim your business listing. By far the first piece of that. Once you click that Manage button, you'll see something that looks like this. This is a recent change that Google made where it actually shows up right in the middle of all the other search results. You'll have some buttons across the top. Your listing should show up over on the right-hand side, along with any information related to your business. And then there will be some other buttons. And then, of course, the organic listing of how your business looks in Google overall. Now, some people might not have access to that new way of seeing it. If you don't, you might end up on a page that looks like this. And in this case, what we're most interested in is this info button over on the left. When you click on that, this is where you can edit things such as name of the company, address, service areas, hours, all of those kinds of things show up in there. So number one, claim your listing. Number two, edit the listing and fill everything out. Anything and everything you can fill out, fill it out. There are also some things like special attributes that you can add, such as woman-owned business, veteran-owned, handicap accessible if you have an actual showroom. There are different things that you can add, what we call attributes, about the business that would actually help you kind of stand out from the rest of them as well. So definitely edit your profile, get it optimized, get as much information in there as you can. If you have multiple locations at different addresses, then each address would get its own Google My Business profile. So you can build a separate profile for the different location, and then that way the closest one will show up to the person that is doing the searching. All right, I did mention citations a little bit earlier, and this is a big part of Google My Business and getting into that 3-pack of results. So a citation is simply a mention of your business somewhere around the web. The most common citation places are Facebook, Yelp, Yahoo Local, Better Business Bureau, Foursquare, Chamber of Commerce, those types of sites that basically and list businesses that part of that is name of the business, address of the business, phone number of the business, all that kind, maybe some other attributes related to that business, and maybe even a link to the homepage of that particular business. These are popular ones that most people know about. There are quite a few of these, and this is actually a pretty small list too. Currently, I think for our company, we submit to around 225, 250 different citation sites, I think. It's somewhere in that range. It's always changing as sites come online, go offline, those kinds of things. But quite a list that you can get your website listed in. Now, the other big piece of this is that I mentioned NAP, name, address, and phone always have to match. They always have to be exact. The big one here really is address, right? If you're at 123 Main Street, you need to always type that in for these directories in the same way. So 123 Main ST period is fine, or 123 Main Street spelled out. But however way you choose to do that, it always has to be the same across all of these different websites. If it's not the same, then Google's not going to recognize it as a valid citation for your business because something doesn't match. So whatever it is in your Google business profile needs to match everywhere else. So just keep that in mind. Usually it's usually the address that people get tripped up on that. So if you have a suite, make sure you're always either typing out the word suite or you're using STE or something like that. We're in St. Louis, so same thing, St. Louis, ST Louis, or SAINT, LOUIS. So just make sure it's always the same. There are some tools that actually offer this service, whitespark.ca, Moz Local, Bright Local, Yext. For us, we use Bright Local for all of our clients. I don't know that one's better than the other. It's just the one that we've landed on as the best for what we think it offers for our clients. And it does some really cool things. For instance, creates a grid for a keyword. This is Naka's drapery on the island of Maui. When somebody types in the word drapery, anywhere in any of these areas, this is where they show up in the map pack or the 3-pack of results, right? And this is the ultimate goal, is to be in those top 3 spots. Now, if they weren't in one, or let's say they were listed number 5, on this particular tool, it would show up in a yellow circle instead of a green one. If they're not in the top 7, I think then it goes to red. So it gives you a good idea of where you're not ranking for, and gives you the opportunity to start, ranking a little bit better in that area. Very cool tool, really helps direct you as to where you're ranking. And then of course it can expand over time to get a wider and wider area. I think these green circles are 2 miles apart, maybe more, maybe 4 or 5. I'm not really sure, but you can expand that grid as time goes on. Now, here's the big thing, and why I'm talking about Google My Business so much is because it is that important to your overall success. So if I'm going to pull up Lead Boomerang, and Lead Boomerang is, I just blew it, didn't I? Let's do that again here. Lead Boomerang is our internal software. It's lead tracking software that lets you track every lead that comes in to your business, no matter if it comes in from a chat widget or a phone call or anything of that sort. All of the leads come into one place, which in this case is our Lead Boomerang system. So if I go to Naka's Drapery and I look at their call reporting tab, and let me change this to just the month of June. All right, so 86 calls, most were answered, some were not. Here are the top call sources, but here's where it's really, really impactful. If we look at this number name here, this shows where the phone call originated. Website, Google My Business, Google My Business, Google My Business. GMB, website, GMB. Look at all these. For most of our clients, we're seeing 60-70% of their leads coming from this one source, meaning Google My Business. That's how incredibly important it is. And I mean, this is live. This is within the last couple of days. So the number of GMB inquiries is significant enough that you don't want to ignore it. Let's just leave it that way, right? So definitely an important piece of your overall strategy. So that's why I'm talking about it so much, really. All right, so the last piece of this, and this is still going to influence your Google My Business profile, is reviews. Okay, one of the things that influences it obviously is location. Another is how well optimized is your website? Is it sending the right signals to Google? Is it helpful? that kind of stuff. And then the third piece of that is, do they have a lot of reviews, or do they have good reviews? Hopefully at least good 4 and 5 star reviews, right? If we look at this result, this is for a search St. Louis draperies. So we've got Sunshine, 32 reviews with a 4.8 average. Then we've got Charlotte's with 2 reviews with an average 3.0 stars. And then we've got the Curtain Exchange, who doesn't have any reviews. From a psychological standpoint, the only option here is Sunshine, right? The other two, well, Charlotte's probably maybe not great service, and Curtain Exchange, don't know if they're good or not, right? However, Sunshine 4.8 and 32 people. So purely just from a social proof standpoint, there's only one option here to choose. And the other thing I'll say here is Charlotte needs to get some more 5-star reviews to push that number up quick, right? If she could get 5 or 10 5-star reviews, she'd be up there at 4.6, 4.7, probably something like that, right? And at least be considered in this particular search, in this particular set of results. And of course, same for Curtain Exchange, they're not doing anything. So this is why, from a review standpoint, very important to start blowing out your competition the best you can. Now, everybody has a list somewhere, some way, of past customers that you've done business with, whether you're keeping track of that in QuickBooks or Excel, or you're writing them down in a book. There's a lot of different ways to keep track of your past clients. Maybe you're just keeping track of invoices, something like that, but you probably have a list, right? So one thing you can do is just reach out to that list, even if it's just, this is June. So even if you just list out to all the installs that you've done since the 1st of January, there's a good chance some of those people are going to leave you a review. Oh yeah, we just love our draperies. We just love our shades, blah, blah, blah. The only reason that you don't have those reviews could be because you didn't reach out to them and ask for them. So one place to start is that past list of customers. Now, could you go back 2 or 3 or 5 years? I guess you could. I don't know if there's a downside to it. Some people are going to say, stop spamming me if they haven't heard from you in 4 or 5 years, and then the first thing you ask for is a review. Maybe not. But if you get, if you make 1 or 2 people mad that maybe aren't going to be your client anymore anyway, and you get 5 or 10 reviews out of it, I'd say that's probably worth playing those odds. So another thing that we do for every one of our clients is we have business cards printed. And these business cards have just a logo on one side. On the back, all they say is, would you mind leaving us a review? And they give these to their installers. And typically, as the install is finishing up, Mrs. Jones says, oh my gosh, I just love these new curtains, draperies. They really make the room look great. Oh, hey, thank you, Mrs. Jones. Would you mind shooting this QR code and leaving us a review? Oh yeah, I'd be happy to do that. And they do that right there in front of you. They click the 5 stars and you're done. These work very well. Some business owners are a little shy to be that kind of forward, but from a logistics standpoint, I guess, the best time to ask for a review is while you're standing there. Even if you wait and get back to your car and then text the client a link to leave a review, they're a lot less likely to leave it. And then if you follow up a day or 2 later with an email, again, your odds go way down on that. So this is something we do for our clients. Easy to do. The printing is very cheap to get this done. The QR code goes straight to the 5 stars, it goes straight to their Google My Business profile. So real easy to do. So something worth considering as well. Here's another example. I mentioned email. Again, you need to do this as soon as you can. As soon as you can after the install is done. If you wait a day or 2 or 5, you can probably forget getting that review. So reach out via email of some sort. Make sure to give them a link that goes to leaving that review. That's very important as well. Inside the lead boomerang system, all of this is automated. We've got an email and a text message that goes out to the client. Then we wait 2 days, ask them, just remind them real quick. Then we might wait another 5 days, ask them again. So we've got, some automations built for our clients to make that process a lot easier. All of our clients just mark the job as complete, install complete, and that triggers this automation to get started right away. If you want to learn more about Lead Boomerang, mylb.net is a great place to start with that. But this is a really cool system that does that. Now, the name of the game here overall is consistency. When it comes to creating content from keywords, doing it at a consistent rate is important. If you're going to optimize your Google My Business profile, make sure it's consistent everywhere. Your name, address, phone number is always consistent. This is a big piece of success in overall digital marketing, local SEO for your business. So, all right, let's review real quick. I appreciate everybody jumping on. If you do have questions, please put them into the chat. I want to make sure that I've answered everybody's question. We went over SEO structure. We got a little nerdy, talked about title tags, meta descriptions, and heading tags, especially that H1 or that top level heading on the site, what those are, what they're about. We talked a little bit about how to dominate locally, obviously starting with the right kind of structure for your business or for your website. Keyword research, knowing what keywords and where to put them and what order are the most important. And then Google My Business or Google Business Profile, very important. Again, if you don't have that or you need to optimize that, google.com/business is where you start with that. We talked about citations or links from other websites pointing back to yours. Google counts every link from other website as a vote for your business. The more votes you have, the higher you're probably going to rank. And we talked about reviews. Make sure you're getting those reviews, asking for those reviews, have some sort of automation in place to get those reviews. And again, the best time to get those is right there in the living room while you're standing there with Mrs. Jones looking at what you just put together. So, all right, this is all part of the digital dominance method. In this case, this is number 2, local foundation and customer journey. We actually kind of touched on 2 different things here. We touched on before they know who you are, so the online ads and the search, things that you can do to influence that. And then after delight is things like leaving a review, them being your cheerleader, those sorts of things, and getting those reviews, which obviously the reviews then feed more people back into the front end. So very important. All right. Any questions in the chat? Let me jump over there and look. Let's see here. All right. I don't see any questions today. I must have been 100% clear on everything that I explained, which is probably not the case, but you guys are being shy today. So, all right. If you want to book a session with me, absolutely free. We can talk about your business, where you're at, what you're doing. wtmarketingpros.com/strategy would be the best place to do that. Get on my calendar and let's talk about what you're up to. All right. A little bit of free stuff. I did talk about the keywords already, right? So wtmarketingpros.com/keywords will get you to that. And then the other piece of that is the book. If you don't have a copy of my book, Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads, wtmarketingpros.com/book. All you have to do is put in your mailing address so I know where to mail it. I did see the USPS go by earlier out my window, so I'll get it out tomorrow. It won't be today, but I will get a book in your hands absolutely free. Again, there's the keywords. There are both window treatment keywords there and awning related keywords as well. And lastly, if you want to jump on a strategy session with me, be happy to talk about your business, what you're doing, what you're up to, where you're trying to go. And we'll see if there's a fit for us to help you get there. I'd love to be able to do that. wtmarketingpros.com/strategy. Alternately, you can give me a call, 314-470-1180. Although I might be doing a workshop or something like that, strategy actually gets you on my calendar, which is probably a better option, quite honestly. So listen, thank you all for your time. I appreciate it today. Hopefully you learned something, got some good value out of this, and I hope you have a great rest of your week and a fantastic July 4th. Take care, everybody. See you later.